1, 2, 1, 2. All right, good evening, everyone. We'll call this meeting to order. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our township meeting, our last township meeting for 2024. In attendance tonight, we have Supervisor Albert, Supervisor Erler, Supervisor Friedman, Supervisor Ekman, and I'm Supervisor Birmingham, so we do have a quorum for tonight's meeting. Agendas are up at the podium. If anybody needs a copy of the agenda, they're right up there, so go ahead and grab one. So yesterday, President Jimmy Carter passed away at 100 years of age, and served our great country as the 39th President of the United States. As President Trump said yesterday, the challenges Jimmy faced as president came at a pivotal time for our country, and he did everything in his power to improve the lives of all Americans. For that, we owe him a debt of gratitude. And President Carter was also very consequential, far more than most presidents, after he left the Oval Office. President Carter's efforts to leave behind a better world didn't end with the presidency. And whether you agreed with his politics or not, I think we can all agree what he did after leaving office is truly commendable. President Carter was a former peanut farmer and was active in civic duties until his declining health stopped him from carrying out a myriad of good deeds, including his work for Habitat for Humanities. In 2002, he earned a Nobel Peace Prize for his ongoing effort as a global humanitarian. So at this time, I would ask for a moment of silence for President Jimmy Carter. Thank you. The agenda, everybody's supervisors have the copy of the agenda. Do we have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda.
Point of order, you don't have the public comment at the end that you usually have. You usually have it twice.
We're only just, let me see if I get a second.
Second.
Okay. So Ron, we're only doing one public comment tonight. It's the end of the year meeting.
Well, if you don't have one after executive session, if we had a question, we have to wait the next year.
You can ask questions. We're all here.
So we'll have public comment after executive session?
No. We're doing one public comment. If you have any questions, you can come see us. We're here. So, with that being said, do we have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
Motion's been made.
Oh, motion's been made.
And seconded.
I've been out with the kids all day, so I'm in pieces. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Okay, we'll open it up for public comment. If you want to make a public comment, you just come up to the podium. Nick, our township manager, has a timer, 3 minutes. And with that being said, I'll open it up for public comment. Bob, come on up. And just name and address.
Robert Teal, 2424 North Delaware Drive, Mount Bethel, Pennsylvania. Let me get the glasses on so I can't see. Last time you had a meeting, you gave me the opportunity of speaking. There's only 2 things I want to touch base on. One is an old thing about Judy Ickle. Judy came up and made an announcement that she was only violated the statute with one thing. She forgot to mention that she was a township employee. Doesn't quite follow the truth. Judy Hinkle was found violated Section 1103 of the Public Official Employee Ethics Act when in her capacity as a supervisor in Upper Mount Bethel Township, Northampton County, she utilized her authority and her public position that resulted in fiduciary benefit to a business in which a family member was located, benefited. And that was the part. Her son, nobody knew, was the person that benefited because of his business. You know, I just wanted to make that very clear. Sometimes it isn't always sugar-coated the way it is. And I, you know, that's water under the dam now, and Judy did plead guilty to it, but it wasn't the whole truth. Kind of the truth and nothing but the truth and the way it goes. My second thing is, after I made my speech the last time, or public comment, at the end, Mr. Friedman mentioned that he had unrefutable evidence that I had a conflict of interest. I demand to know what the evidence is, and I'm not afraid of anything he'd say, because I know there's nothing there. So either put up or shut up, and if so, if you're going to slander me, I'm going to sue you. You have evidence?
Yes, I do.
Present it.
Not right now. I'll do that at my office hours meeting.
That's all BS. Thank you very much.
Next, public comment. Judy.
Yes, you do. Judith Hinkle, 1752 Robin Hood Road. If Bob would like a copy of the ethics investigation on me, there was nothing other than my inability to consider the township as my employer on the ethic report. There's nothing. I was not fined, I was not, as whatever words they want to use, there was nothing. Okay? It was investigated. They found nothing, no intent. They interviewed people for a freaking year. So, that's it. I'm done. I thought I was done last meeting, but people can't let things go. Thank you.
Thank you. Public comment, next. Marty.
Mark Taylor, 39 Lindsay Lane. Two things. If you've ever gone to Atlanta, I would urge you to visit the Jimmy Carter Presidential Library because it's a great place. Also, one of the most influential things he did was after 3 Mile Island, because he was on a nuclear submarine, he actually went to 3 Mile Island to give a vote of confidence that they knew what they were doing. So I think we all, probably should tip our hat to the 3 Mile Island disaster, because if it wasn't for that, we'd have one down the road, and Tots Island would have definitely would have happened. I think that truly was the reason why they threw that out the window. Hope everybody had a great Christmas. It was good for my household to have my daughter back from university and really see her make the dean's list with over a 3.7 at Wake Forest. So that being a highly intellectual school, I'm proud of my daughter for all of that. After that, or during that time off, I, of course, visited some of our businesses, spread around some of the holiday cheer and really had breakfast. At a table that was behind me at a booth, I heard some disturbing things that next year, our township treasurer will not be the treasurer. And we're looking at having a treasurer that's outside of this board. And I turned around and asked this lovely foursome that was behind me having breakfast what they meant. And they said that they had heard that the township manager was going to be the treasurer, or even our secretary could be the treasurer. And I asked, how did you hear that? And they said, well, there's grumblings around town that the current treasurer will not be able to get bonded. And I said, there's only one time I ever heard about that, and that was that a former township manager was very close to not getting bonded. And the bond cost was close to $10,000 because they couldn't, their credit was so bad. And I'm just wondering if you guys can at least give me some vote of confidence and say, that's all bullshit. Or at least come out and say, yeah, we're gonna have to because we do have a problem. So I'm here just asking that question. Thank you.
Thanks, Marty. Yeah, we're still talking about it. We don't know what we're gonna do. We're waiting for the reorg, and if you attend the reorg, that's when the board will vote at that time. Anyone else? Public comment? Okay. I don't see anyone else, so moving on. Ron, come on.
Good evening. You know, it's the end of the year. It's a good time to take a look back and analyze the past year. And there's many good things that happened in the past year. The EDC's done a number of good things. Several of our committees have done a number of good things. The preserve is moving along. There's a lot of positive things that have went on in the past year. And we're on the cusp right now of, I think, one of the greatest things that could happen to us for the industry that's coming in.
Ron, before you go
I
forward.
didn't mention any names.
Yeah, please don't,
No.
because otherwise we're gonna have a problem.
I said industry,
Thank you.
generic. We're on the cusp of that industry coming in, which could do a lot of great things for this township. I was kind of disturbed who you appointed to do the negotiations with the industry. There certainly was a gentleman in the township who could have done this and would have done it at no charge, who has great experience. But that's water under the dam, I guess, too. But what concerns me the most is the dissension in this township started way back when, and it was the concerned citizens that started out, and they had some good points. Nobody likes truck traffic, nobody likes warehouses. Well, it doesn't appear now there's truck traffic or warehouses. So I don't understand why they keep throwing up roadblocks. And I don't understand why they keep doing things that are negative to what would be good for the township. And it appears now that, I'm sure the original people who sent money and contributed to concerned citizens had legitimate rights. They absolutely did. But what's left of the concerned citizens is probably a handful of people right now. But they almost seem like the proverbial kamikaze pilot to some degree. They just will not give up, and they will not stop doing what they're going to do to stop something positive for this township. And that's sad. And I want to finish by, I'm going to get under the gun here. I see Nikki's got a good 66.
in the red now.
No problem. Again, I just want to say thank you to all those people who have, in the past year, gave their energy and time and sometimes their finances to make this a better place to live. And that was a great thing to do. And to those people who still are unhappy, people sometimes say to me, what would make those people happy? I said, I really don't have an answer to that. I don't know what would make those handful of people happy anymore. If anything would frankly make them happy. But to all those people who have done the good things, thank you very much. To those people who haven't, so be it.
Thank you. Anyone else? Public comment? Going once, going twice, on. All right. Moving on, number 4, action items, final bill list. Nick?
Yes, Mr. Chair. The general fund spent $17,084.93. The interim bills were $16,998.95. The rec fund, there was interim bills of $7,200. Fire tax account, there was a bill for $2,230.43. Road machinery was $4,945. EIT open space fund, $42,828.62. There was an interim bill of $21.20. And the open space capital reserve saldo, that is the interim bill was $11,112. Liquid fuels was $4,591.40, for a total of $107,012.53. Mr. Chair, we get a motion to pay the bills.
Do we have a motion to pay the bills?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Nick. Ordinance 2024-04, weight limit sign ordinance. Ron?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is an ordinance that I had prepared earlier, but I had forgotten to put in the signs. So now this is a revised ordinance, and we have the weight limits and the truck signs. I'm just going to read the header of the ordinance so people have an idea of what we're talking about. And this is an ordinance establishing weight restrictions of a maximum of 10 tons on Potomac Street and Railroad Avenue for 1.5 miles extending from the intersection of Railroad Avenue and $1 Million Highway, Jacoby Creek Road, to the intersection of Potomac Street and Sunrise Boulevard. There's also establishing turning restrictions for truck traffic where there will be no right turns or left turns, or both for truck traffic at the intersection of Sunrise Boulevard and Potomac Street, the intersection of Potomac Street and Railroad Avenue and SR 611, and the intersection of Railroad Avenue, $1 Million Highway / Jacoby Creek Road. This ordinance was duly advertised and has attached as an exhibit the various traffic forms that were prepared by the traffic engineer, along with a copy of the sign legend that will be used to mark the traffic, weight limits, turnings, etc. That being said, Mr. Chair, unless there's any questions, this is ready for adoption.
Okay, any questions from the supervisors? Is there a motion to adopt ordinance number 2024-04?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any other discussion? Yeah, Marty.
I would just bring to your attention, though, if somebody on those roads that we're talking about wants to get their driveway paved, your truck that's going to bring that is going to be over that weight limit. So I would at least put somewhere in there, unless it's for something that has to do with a resident on that road. Because otherwise, I mean, your asphalt truck is gonna have to go down there with maybe 12 tons, and you're gonna have twice or 3 times the amount of trucks for doing that. So I would just advise you to take a look at
Farm
that.
equipment.
They're usually excluded for local deliveries also, so.
But same with garbage trucks and everything else. So I'm just saying, in the ordinance, that should be disclosed.
We'll tell our police force to disregard those.
Ron, any concern there?
Well, it's not in the ordinance, so, I mean, if you want it in the ordinance, I can put it in, we'll have to re-advertise and vote on another day.
I mean, I don't think you're gonna have a problem putting it through. It's just cleaning up the
If they have a
language.
bill of lading that they're gonna be delivering to a resident that's right there, they should not be ticketed. And it's the state police that would do it. We don't have a police department. I'm just asking, Ron, if that's true.
Well, we don't have a police department, so the chances of someone getting ticketed is probably not very high. But Mr. Pinter is correct, that unless it's in the ordinance, someone whoever that may be, can later say, you're letting other trucks go by here overweight over here, so I'm gonna let other trucks go by overweight over there or somewhere else, so. It's whatever the supervisors want to do. I'm not sure if delaying the vote is that critical by way of action. It's just gonna take a little bit more time to do it. Of course, a couple more bucks, because we gotta advertise and et cetera.
Just do it, right? In my opinion.
Because that's a significant enough change that we'd have to advertise.
Yeah, sure.
Minor changes, we don't have to do that.
That's gonna happen. There's gonna be, garbage truck, there's gonna be, triaxle driving through there delivering small.
Our own trucks.
Well, yeah.
Is accept local deliveries considered minor or major?
Anything up there is gonna be local delivery.
the question becomes, except local deliveries would probably be minor, but what are local deliveries? Are we talking about Blacktop? Are we talking about Amazon? Are we talking about UPS? Are we talking about other things? I mean, local deliveries could have a 50-ton truck coming in with a cinder block or something, and that's a local delivery. So-
And even farm equipment.
Sure.
So that's your call. I mean, again, we don't have a township police force, so I don't think we have to worry about some officer waiting in clandestine, looking behind a rock, ready to get somebody. But if it's not in the ordinance, that's not in the ordinance and could be later attacked, I suppose. My concern is other people saying, well, you're letting other people violate this ordinance here, so I can violate it there, or I can violate it, up the road or down the road or something. That's my concern, not so much the language as much as someone later saying, well, you're letting them do it, so I can do it too.
Yeah, that would be my thought. Let's come up with exceptions to the ordinance, because otherwise we're just opening up a can of worms here.
Okay.
Just do it right.
You got a question?
I got a question. Is there a reason why it was only that stretch of road? I mean, what about like I live on River Road or somebody that lives on Allegheny? I mean, why just that stretch of roads?
Because there were a lot of accidents occurring there, like the TK's restaurant kept getting hit.
Well, you gotta get rid of that car parked there at the end, then we won't have the accident. That's not a truck traffic thing. That's not a weight limit thing.
Each area needs its own study.
Yeah, and you have to study, you have to get a study for each
The
area
handicap
as well.
spot?
What's that?
The handicap spot?
Yeah.
I mean,
That was looked at by our engineer, and that was, it actually is in code.
So let's, Ron, can you have, so now advertise, you're gonna have to draft this or revise it.
Revise it and then re-advertise it again, so could probably, won't be able to do it for the March, maybe March mid-month if you're still gonna be meeting on the fourth Monday of the month, but certainly won't be able to ready for the first meeting in March because we don't have enough drag time to put the ad in.
So let's put it on for now. Let's put it on for the, is that 2020? Yeah,
Yes.
for 24th of March.
Of March?
Yeah.
That's what
24th.
you were saying, March.
Oh, I said March, I meant January.
Oh, January. See, we're all worn out. It's the end of the year. We all need our breaks.
Yeah, I mean, I think I could do it for January
Oh, yeah,
27th,
yeah.
if you're still gonna meet those same dates.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah, let's put it on for the 27th then. Okay, yeah.
And tell me,
Hold on 1 second.
My question's.
Hold on 1 second, Bob. Ron, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, other than local deliveries, what do you want me to put in?
We could do
You
something
got
like,
a 50-page ordinance.
I would say something,
I'm gonna say
Trucks.
vendors, vendors to residents, or resident,
how about something like trucks pre-approved by the township
yeah, I would get that. I would
with
just say
prior notice?
Local deliveries.
Guys, can you keep it down? We wanna get out here at a decent time tonight. Go ahead, Ron.
I'm gonna say local deliveries, and I'll do something about, and any work to be done on the resident's property,
Okay.
something like that.
Yeah.
Put farm equipment.
Is that considered minor still, if we were to include those two and just pass it tonight and get that?
No.
No, okay.
Yeah, Bob.
The question always comes back, you're doing another ordinance, that's very good, it's nice that you're going to do that. Who's going to enforce it?
That'll be
Who is
something
going to
we'll
be
look at in
We don't have a
2025.
police force, and you know that state police will not enforce ordinances. They're not gonna come around and say, you have an ordinance against that, so we're gonna enforce it.
Yeah.
They're not gonna do that.
But this may change in the future. You never know.
Well, then the ordinance then.
You never know. Okay, so that'll be ready for January 27th. Okay, excellent. All right. Next up is ordinance 2024-05, Transportation Advisory Committee. Ron?
I would say, just before we get there, just as a matter of order, perhaps you just should table this action on the ordinance tonight
till the 27th of January.
Motion
to table.
Yes, we have a motion on the floor.
Yeah, okay. So who did the original motion? You did?
So
Okay.
Dave can amend it if he wants to,
Yeah.
because the motion to amend takes
Yeah,
precedence,
yeah.
and he can say, motion to amend the table.
Okay, motion to amend the table.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, 2024-05 Transportation Advisory Committee, Ron.
All right, again, this was a committee that was suggested by the supervisors. I had prepared it as a resolution, and there was some concern that perhaps as a resolution, it might not have the same force and effect as if it was part of an ordinance, sort of like the rec board was made by way of ordinance as opposed to resolution. So I simply changed the wording around to make this a resolution that was duly advertised. And basically, it says that the committee is a forum where township residents can voice complaints, traffic complaints, concerns, and provide suggestions to remediate potential traffic issues with the township, and that the committee would then make recommendations to the Township Board of Supervisors in that regard, that there are 5 members of the committee, 1 with a 5-year term, 2 with 2-year terms, and 2 with 1-year terms, that the committee does not have any authority or power to spend any township funds, enter into agreements, or approve any projects, but it does have the authority to make recommendations to the Board of Supervisors, and just as the rec board did, the committee will adopt a set of bylaws and work with the township manager to develop guidelines for its use. Again, this ordinance was duly advertised and is ready for adoption, or discussion and adoption.
Any questions from the supervisors? Okay, do we have a motion to adopt ordinance 2024-05?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Yeah.
I would say now that that passed, why don't you take the ordinance that you guys tabled and have them look at it and work on it and bring it to you?
We'll talk, Jeff. We'll talk. Thank you, Mark. Next up is Frank's Deli Improvement Agreement.
Yes, Mr. Chair, if you recall at the last meeting, the developer and owners were, I believe, the Kinney's. Developers is Frank's Deli and Farm Market LLC. Was permitted to develop a property here in the township, and the required improvements that were to be done were to be completed by November 25. They were not able to complete those improvements by November 25, and there was still outstanding the trees to be planted, paving to be done, and fencing to be installed. They requested that they be giving an extension to complete those items. The township did agree by way of oral vote to extend the time for them to complete those improvements by May 31, 2025. And this is the written agreement where they must complete those improvements by May 31, 2025. And in the meantime, the performance security that they have filed remains in full force and effect. So in the event they don't complete them by that date and some other things occur, the performance security can be called upon to do the work and complete it. So this is the written agreement to that effect.
And you drafted this agreement?
I did.
Okay, and have you sent it to?
I haven't sent it to anyone yet because I wanted to first make sure you as the supervisors approved it. If you do, I will then send it to the developer and owner for signature, and then we'll circle back here to the township for counter signature. But I wanted to make sure you were okay with the agreement before I sent it out.
Any questions from the supervisors? Okay, do we have a motion to?
Don, can I ask you a question before you make your motion on it?
Yeah.
Ray Higgins, 580 Centerville Road. Just a couple of questions on it. One, what happens if they can't make the improvements because they can't afford the improvements? And I ask that because one of them is a big improvement, which is paving. And I look at our place, which is unpaved, and we didn't have that requirement. And I just know what the cost is because I've been saving for it. So I'm wondering what happens to that business if they can't make those improvements.
Right.
They're a productive part of our society now in our township, and a lot of people depend on them, go there for lunch, and you know, what happens if they can't?
Well, we're open to negotiation, you know, they look at this agreement, and then I'm sure they're gonna have their attorney look at it.
If they can't afford those improvements, is there alterations you can make to that, where they don't have to pave it, and they can do something else?
Well, let them come up with it, let them negotiate.
Well, I
mean,
understand, but I'm asking as another business owner, just so, you know, I understand.
I
how
would
it
not
works.
recommend that, because then you're gonna have everyone say, I don't wanna do what you just said I'm supposed to do. I would not recommend that. This is what they agreed to, they signed it, they have a letter of credit for $100,000 or whatever it is, but if they don't get it done, we call in the letter of credit and do it ourselves. That's the way it's gotta
Is
be.
there a reason that they had those
I can't answer that.
stipulations when they
You
went
have to
into the
answer,
opening?
speak to their engineer and to their planning professional.
Okay,
I
just
don't know.
curiosity,
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
trying to figure out how it works, thank you.
Yep. Okay,
That being said, Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve Mr. Karasek's agreement and we wrote up for Frank Stelli's improvement and send it to Frank Stelli Improvement. Frank Stelli.
okay, is there a second?
I'll second
Any other discussion?
it. Last time, Mr. Karasek, I asked you, what would happen if this didn't go through, and you said that they had a bond. If the cost.
Yeah,
did
they have a
go up-
letter of credit. I said a bond, but it's really a letter of credit.
So if the cost does go up and the town has to then do it for them, we can use the entire, amount of credit line?
The agreement-
And not just the amount that they agreed upon?
The agreement says that the performance security that has been posted to assure completion of the required improvements shall remain in full force and effect. So that is the security for all the other items that needed to be done.
Okay.
As far as I know, that security has not yet been reduced. If they come in requesting a reduction, I would not recommend it. But I don't think it's been reduced as of the time we're speaking here. Because once they get the improvements in, then there's maintenance security if they're gonna be offered for the public for 18 months at 15% of the cost of the actual improvement. So until the improvements actually get in, they can't even make that second calculation.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, there's a motion on the floor, it's been seconded, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Okay, next up is,
Mr. Mark, I'm sorry. Cindy is saying that she heard that they might want to come in tomorrow to sign, so I have an agreement here. They want to come in and sign it, I haven't signed it, and then we're going to get it going.
we'll give them free candy too. Give them some of Nick's Reese's in the back.
How about it?
Oh, and Ron, of course, as well.
Okay.
Next up is executive session. Supervisor Friedman called the executive session.
Yes.
And we're discussing personnel?
Personnel and a legal matter.
Okay. So we're going back to executive session, discussing personnel and a legal matter. Ron, we'll need you, I guess, if it's a legal matter in executive session. Nick will be out here serving candies and telling jokes, so we'll be back in about 10, 15. We'll be back shortly, thanks.
Come into the meetings, huh?
It's 7:48 p.m. We call this meeting back in order. We went back into executive session. We had discussed a personal matter, and we discussed a legal matter. Is there any action to be taken out of executive session?
No action at this time.
Okay. With that being said, there's no action being taken out of executive session. Do you have a question?
Yes, when you say personal or personnel?
Personnel.
Personnel, okay. Could you give us a brief description, not exact, but what the legal issue was?
Ron? And if there's no comment, I can respond to that as well.
The legal issue dealt with whether or not,
Go talking to you, Mike, please, Ron.
I can hear you.
the legal issue dealt with whether or not certain records from the township are subject to disclosure under the PA Open Records Act.
I would hope they are.
Thank you.
It could be interesting what they find out, by the way.
Okay, with that being said, that concludes our business for 2024. Oh, yeah, announcements. Man, I am off my game tonight. Okay, so next up are announcements. So let's do that. That's the Best Christmas Lights Contest. We had over 15 entries of homes around Upper Mount Bethel that were either nominated by themselves or nominated by others for the fantastic Christmas lights display. Supervisor Erler was the appointed supervisor to lead this effort. I supported Supervisor Erler as well. But you have the top 3 winners.
I do. I drove around a lot. I saw a lot of actual places in Mount Bethel I didn't know existed. Some that I saw from far away, then it took me about 10 minutes to actually get to the actual spot that I saw. So in 3rd place was 88 Lenape Trail. In 2nd place was 30 Fucci Court. Frucci Court. And 1st place was 1126 Potomac, which if you ever been there, it's an event.
It's fantastic, yeah, and 1126 is the house on Potomac with all the inflatables. There's over, I think, 100 inflatables.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of inflatables, but I mean, this was above and beyond. So congratulations to 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
Hey guys, can you keep it down, please? Go ahead. And,
Yeah.
so, 1st place will receive a $100 gift card and 6 bottles of wine courtesy of M&M Vineyards right here on 611 in the township. 2nd place gets a $50 gift card and 4 bottles of wine from M&M Vineyards. And 3rd place gets a $20 gift card and 2 bottles of wine.
Everyone else just gonna get drunk.
Yeah. So now you know where the parties are for New Year's, all right. And I think that is it.
No, I have an answer there.
Okay.
I'll be having office hours here on January, Thursday the 2nd, and I'll be giving my side of this ethics thing.
What time is it?
6 to 7:30.
Okay, and I'll be here for that as well.
What day?
Thursday the 2nd, here at the building, 6 to 7:30.
This
is yours.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's this Thursday. Yeah. Anything else, David?
No, that's all, thank you.
Supervisor Erler.
Yeah, I just want to let everyone know that there still is an open seat on the EDC, and also zoning has an open seat. So if anyone is interested in one of those seats, please put in a letter of interest. And
And if you're going to be on the zoning hearing board, you also need a financial statement to go with your application.
When are they due by?
Friday.
They're past due, they need to be in by time.
They were due Friday.
Oh, they will do this audit.
You have to be bonded.
I spoke to you about it.
For zoning. And so our reorg is the 6th. And have we received letters of interest for both positions yet?
There is an open seat for EDC.
Have we received any letters of interest for that?
That's the open seat, so no, we do have 2 seats that are renewing.
Mhm.
So there's actually 3 seats, but 1 open. So we have, does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and then for the zoning hearing board as well, right?
Right, yes.
Yeah, the whole list is on your version.
So I think if the supervisor's in agreement, why don't we just leave it open until Friday, January 3rd? Any opposition to that?
No, get more people interested.
Yeah. Okay, so if anybody's interested in those positions, just submit your letters to, you can do it by email or you can do a written letter. Just get them to our township secretary, Cindy Beck, by this Friday, 4 p.m., January 3rd.
And I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas, as Mr. Pinter stated his family did. And I wish everyone a happy and safe New Year's.
Supervisor Allen.
I had a couple calls, just in case you didn't get the mailers for waste management scheduled for 2025, they're in the mail. They'll be out if you didn't get them. It's the same schedule as last year. And I had quite a few calls today asking.
Mine came yesterday, so.
Yeah.
And I have a stash here too.
That's it.
Okay, Supervisor Eckman. Okay, Nick?
I'm good. Just want to wish everybody a happy new year, happy and healthy, and see you next year.
Cindy?
Yeah,
Ron?
I'm good.
All right, well, it's been a wonderful year. Thank you for the privilege and the honor to serve. I love our township. I know we all don't see eye to eye every day on certain things, but I know we all care about our township for various reasons. And I've been here since 2013, and it's been an absolute joy. And I've met so many great people here, and we're really a town who cares. There's no doubt about that. I see it time and time again, and I'm pretty proud to call Upper Mount Bethel my home, and I know you guys are as well. So happy New Year, be safe, be healthy, and we'll see you at the reorg on Monday, January 6th. Until then, can I get a motion to adjourn? Did someone make a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, meeting adjourned.